So the content, I'll briefly introduce you who we are as business support team, and then our journey from Plaza to Salesforce. Some of you might be familiar with Plaza, some may not. So we'll just try to explain you a bit more about them. And then your next steps as entities regarding onboarding, validation, contracting, award letter. And then I'll briefly explain you grant cycle and the roles in the project. So you will get a bit familiar with some words that you will hear from us time to time. And finally, I will conclude with introducing Hive platform to you, which is going to be a useful one for you. To start with who we are, you are already familiar with EITFood as you already submitted your proposals and they have been successful. So we are Europe's leading food initiative. And if you have any questions about us, you can always check the website. You can always reach us and we will try to put you into contact with the relevant teams at EITFood. Who we are as team, we have Anna as our head of business support. And then me and Arzu, we are more related with participants, your entities directly. And then my dear colleagues, Martin and Renat are also with us. Martin is more focused on internal queries with our colleagues at EITFood. And Renat is always there to help us with any questions we have, any assistance need we have. So she has the overview for internals and externals usually. So for your questions that you will see which topics you may ask us, this is the email address that you can reach us. Probably you are already familiar with. I already started back and forth mails with you. But if you have any questions, this is the email address that you will use. Briefly, I would like to describe the difference between partners and participants because that's something a bit confusing for some entities. EITFood partners are the entities that are paying membership fees. So they have some obligations and rights related to this membership membership type they have. So if you would like to have more information about partnership, you can always reach us and then we can direct you to our partnership team. Who are participants? Those are the entities who join projects at EITFood. So as you can see, there is a subset between them. That means an EITFood partner can also be a participant because if they are a partner with a specific type of membership fee, that means they are having some rights and obligations based on the membership, but simultaneously they are participating to a kava. So they are participants. So they are in our service area, I would say. So we are there to help them with any questions they have regarding grant cycle, onboarding, validation, or anything about the tools that we use in general in coordination with IT. So just to clarify a few points regarding Plaza and Salesforce, some of you might be our old participants. That's why you are familiar with the tool that we are using, Plaza. But very recently, very soon, we are moving like 100% to the new tool we have, Salesforce. Thanks to our strong IT team, they are really dedicatedly working on the full data migration, data creation, any features that we will use in Salesforce. And why this has been a decision given to move from Plaza to Salesforce is to make sure the data is centralized and streamlined processes are there, which we believe really going to benefit everyone in the whole organization and in the whole environment of EITFood, like your entities. So it is going to be user-friendly, and there will be some trainings in the coming weeks to make sure that we are all on the same page. We know how to use the tool. And if there are going to be questions, us and the IT team will be there to help us. So we really hope that the operational efficiency will be improved and automation in reporting and processes are also in our wish list, which is going to be true soon. And what is important for you is the effect of this change for sure from Plaza to Salesforce. Good news, there is not a lot to be changed or to be affected on your side. What we mean, as EIT Community NEB is one of the EIT community activities of the Strategic Synergies cluster, your proposals were never submitted to Plaza or Salesforce. So we never had the chance to have your proposals directly in our grant management tool. what does it mean? This means your proposals have to be transferred to our grants management tool, which is now Salesforce. So there is nothing making any effect or difference in your case, as we never had the chance to get your proposals in our grants management tool in the first place, I would say. So what do all these things mean? So what does it mean to create a proposal in our system, and what are the next steps? So as I said, first we need your projects to be in the Salesforce system. And for that, there is going to be a data transfer periods, and which is going to be completed by IT team's guidance. So you are not going to be involved in this. Activity leader, your program manager, IT team, they may work together to make sure that the proposals are completely transferred to the system. You will receive two sets of notifications. This is just to inform you in advance that you don't need to take any action. You can ignore them. What are they going to be about? They're going to be about some notification or heads up kind of mails to let you know that your proposal is created, your data has been transferred. So when you see something about your proposals, like a systematic notification, you can ignore them. Of course, if you get confused, don't hesitate to ask us via participants' mailbox. As a second step, you will receive a communication from your program manager. So your program manager will be sending you the onboarding mail, where you will be able to see the next steps for the onboarding. However, some of you who are already or who were already involved in projects with us, you are already in our system, so you may not be receiving these mails. And if you do, we can always check. It might be a mistake, but I expect you won't receive any email about onboarding because you are already in the tool. And if something is missing, we can always check with Plaza and make sure every data about your entity is in Salesforce. But many of you who are new to EITFood, who were not in Plaza before, you will receive these emails from your program manager, and you will see the steps there, the link that you need to proceed to complete your registration in Salesforce, then declaration of size document to be completed via the link, and the financial identification form again to be completed via the link. You will see our email address there. So if you still have any question, if that mail that you will receive is still not clear, don't hesitate to reach us. We will try to make it more clear for you. As a third step, after you receive these and after you started working on the links, we as business support team will be here to support all the process throughout the beginning till the end of the onboarding and validation. I will explain validation topic a bit in further in the coming slides. Just to give an intro here, we are going to be your point of contact for onboarding, and you can always check with us your status if that is something not clear for you. And as the last step, as fourth step, when all data migration and onboarding and if necessary validation are finalized, your consortium will receive the award letter. And then this award letter will mean that we give the green light to legal team to proceed with the contracts. So you won't be able to receive your contracts until you receive your award letter. For you to receive your award letter, all consortia entities needs to be onboarded and validated if needed. So what is this validation? Maybe this is the time that I can explain you a little bit more. So according to the rules, every entity who is going to be participants of projects and going to have EIT funding needs to have a PIC, so a validated PIC. But some of the entities do not have validated PIC and only have declared PIC, which means they have to be validated. And for this service, we have EIT community onboarding service that are helping us to make sure that the entities who have declared PIC are validated. So how the whole process works. So while you are working on your onboarding link, on your onboarding documents, simultaneously we are checking your PICs. And for the ones whose PICs are not validated and only declared, they will be contacted by EIT Community Onboarding Service. So These entities will receive an email to log into the system of EIT community. And there you will be asked to complete some information as well as some additional documents. And then you will upload these documents to their system. But please keep this in mind that uploading the documents doesn't mean that your validation is completed. It only means that it is the trigger for the team to start working on your validation checks. And once they complete their validation, you will, and us as well, receive an email, a notification mail stating that your entity's validation has been completed. And then that's going to be, again, I go one slide back, that's going to be the fourth step, that if everything is completed, data is migrated, you are onboarded, the whole consortia, I mean, you are all validated. Now that will be the time you will receive your award letter, which will have the project's start date as an information, and then you will see your contracts coming in a few days. So this is a recap slide that we prepared for you just to understand where you are. So all of you pretty much are in this pre-selection column or pre-selection step. And the next step, you will receive these onboarding mails. Again, I repeat myself, if you do not receive onboarding mail, that will mean you are already in the system because you were participating to previous projects at EITFood. And then if you need the validation, which means you don't have a validated pick at the moment and you only have a declared pick, then you will be contacted by EIT Community Onboarding Service. And once everything is done, everything is completed, you will receive the award letter, then the contracting, finally the financing. You might be curious about the contracts that you will receive. So there are two sets of contracts. One of them is the bilateral CAVA contract. So this is between EITFood and each of the CAVA participants. So not within the consortium and EITFood, but EITFood and each participant. And these will be sent to the signing contact of each entity. That's why you will see in our mails that we will try to make sure that the correct contact people are assigned in the system, so they will get the correct links with the contracts. And then, unless you already sign one framework agreement within the period of 23-25, you will receive one framework agreement for all sub-grants awarded by EITFood. So CAVA contracts might be more than one if you are joining more than one project, but framework agreement is only one. Grant cycle, I will definitely not go into detail, but this slide is here for you to understand what are the next grant cycle periods that you will see. So your CAVAs, so your projects are selected, so they will be part of the business plan. Then we will have a monitoring periods where your projects will be monitored with the help of your program manager to make sure that everything is good. And if there are any red flags that need to be raised, that's the time, a perfect time to raise it. And then we will have a CAVA amendment period where after the monitoring, everyone will see what needs to be amended. And if they can be justified well, that will be the period that you will have the chance to amend. And finally, the reporting periods. In this slide, maybe the most important thing is to make sure that you already check the link that I provide here. Sorry. This is the AMGA link. So AMGA is the document that you really need to keep an eye on it starting from the very first day of your projects, because that is the document that describes everything about cost eligibility. So whatever comes to your mind as a question, whether this cost can be eligible or not, please go ahead and check the link. Because if you reach us with any questions, that will be the thing that we will really recommend you. Please go and check the AMGA, because the costs eligibility is your responsibility. So please make sure you have the link, you have the document to check your cost eligibility if you are not sure about one type of or another. Second important thing to tell here is to make sure you are not worried about these steps, because we as business support team will always be here with our trainings, webinars, Q&As, and mailbox to reply your questions in those grant cycle periods. So before every period starts, we have our webinars, we have our Q&A sessions. So we try to make sure everything is clear and flowing nicely and smoothly for you in all of those steps. Briefly, these people are important, or these names are important for you to know because we frequently use them. So the activity leader is the person that is responsible from your consortium. So this person is responsible for the proposal, for the budgets, for the project related topics, budget change, reporting. So anything about the budget and the tool that is, working for the budget, the activity leader is the one that is responsible to work on those. There will be task leaders or contributors if activity leader would like to add them, but the main responsible person that we need to reach whenever we have a question is activity leader. At EITFood, you will have your functional program manager, who is your first point of contact for project-related questions. So projects implementation or detail about the project content. Your program manager is the one who will be able to help you with your questions. And how about us as business support team? We will be there for you to answer your operational or grant cycle related questions. For instance, onboarding or validation is one topic. Or if we are in a reporting period, if you have any technical problem, you can always reach us and we can try to coordinate with IT to see what might be the problem. But anything about the project, please keep in mind your program manager is the person that has the whole knowledge. The last topic is about the Hive, as you may remember from the content slide. So this is a platform we really recommend you to become a member, and you will shortly, I expect next week, receive an invitation from Hive, because this platform is the one that we keep our live feeds there, events, resources like slides, guidelines. So that is the place that we use in our communications. So that is a really active communication channel, and you can always turn off your notifications or adapt your notifications, but we really recommend that you become a partner. Sorry, you become a member of Hive. It's free of charge, and we really believe it's a benefit for you. And if you would like to receive or watch the recordings once again, you can always reach our playlist on YouTube, and here is the link that you can find on the slides when I share the slides with you. And lastly, maybe a small favor that I may ask from you is to fill the survey. You will have this link in the presentation and in my mail when I reach you with the links. So we really appreciate your comments, because this is not only for us, this is also related to you, as we really want to improve the service, the assistance we are giving to you. So please take 2 minutes maximum to fill in the survey. That would really make me and my colleagues happy to see your comments. And lastly, this is the email address. You will get very familiar with it, I'm sure.